The diplomatic ties between Seoul and Washington are expected to strengthen with the arrival of the top U.S. diplomat for East Asia in Seoul. Daniel Crittenbrink, the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs, landed at the Incheon International Airport on Wednesday as part of his first Asia trip since taking office in September. He first met with his South Korean counterpart Yeo Sung-bae, Deputy Minister for Political Affairs, this morning and had a working lunch. During the meeting, the two sides seem to have touched on North Korea and other bilateral issues, such as declaration of a formal end to the Korean War, which Seoul officials say would bring Pyongyang back to the negotiating table for a dialogue.
Assistant Secretary Crittenbrink is in Seoul right now. He is meeting with government counterparts. Would suspect that the threat that is posed by the DPRK's missile and ballistic missile and nuclear program will certainly be on the table, as will our strategy to advance the prospects for the complete and total denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula will also be a topic of discussion as well.
The nuclear talks have been stalled since the 2019 Hanoi summit between the U.S. and the North ended with no deal. Later in the day, Crittenbrink met with Lee Sung-ho, Deputy Minister for Economic Diplomacy, and senior officials from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy to discuss economic cooperation. Now, it is unprecedented for the top U.S. diplomat for East Asia to meet with trade and economic officials separately on his first visit to Korea. It is likely that the talks touched on expanding bilateral economic ties to reshape global supply chains for chips, EV batteries, and more. In fact, Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix recently filed their chip business information after the U.S. Department of Commerce requested data on the ongoing chip crisis. The U.S. diplomat also met with Lee Jae-myung, the presidential nominee of the ruling Democratic Party, and plans to meet Yoon Suk-yeol, the nominee of the main opposition People Power Party. Such move is seen as Washington's efforts to build ties with the leading candidates ahead of the March 9th presidential election.